Hi friends, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my series check-in, so wrapping up the last 3 months of July, August and September and looking at my series TBR plans for the final 3 months of 2023, so October, November and December. And I always love filming these videos, but I'm feeling particularly excited about today's video because I feel like it's quite positive, because I've actually made quite a lot of progress in my series over the past 3 months. And I feel as though the past couple of series check-ins, I do have a playlist which I can link down below and in the cards. I haven't been that great at like finishing my series and wrapping things up and continuing things. I've just been very good at starting things. Whereas now I have actually had 3 months where I have been reading my series and like reading. I've been doing the reading. Let's start with the wrap up and all the things that I managed to accomplish with my reading in the last 3 months, and then we will look at some plans for the end of the year. So over the months of July, August and September, I was able to wrap up a total of 3 series, which was like 1 series a month. I managed to get into a bit of a flow of finishing a series a month. That I had ambitions and aims to potentially finish more, that I was like, I could finish all these things, but I did 1 a month and I feel like that was quite reasonable and I feel accomplished with it. So I finished Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare first in July. So this is the 3rd and final book in the Last Hours series, which is part of the Shadowhunter world. I've now wrapped up, I think, everything that's in the Shadowhunter world. I think there might be like a few little novella-y things, bits and pieces, Magnus Bane stuff that I haven't read, but of the core trilogies I've read everything, so this wraps that whole universe up, as well as the Last Hours trilogy. I will also link all of my wrap-ups down below for full thoughts on all of these. So success here. So then the next series that I finished up was The First Law by Joe Abercrombie. So I read The Last Argument of Kings, wrapping up this original trilogy. I know that there is much more in the world. There's the standalones and then the second trilogy. I think I might take a little break now of Joe Abercrombie. Like, I enjoyed this. It was like 4 stars. It was solid, but I don't have like the desire that I have to keep reading like straight away. Like, I don't need to just keep going right now. But yes, enjoy this one. Very happy to have like wrapped this up. Another one completed. And then the final series that I completed, I reread the first 2 books and then read the 3rd book all in this quarter, which I feel like looks pretty impressive because they're quite chunky. So yeah, I reread Mask of Mirrors, The Lies Knot, and then I read Labyrinth's Heart in September, wrapping up this whole Rook and Rose trilogy, which I feel like is quite a success for a quarter to have managed all of that, as they are quite chunky books. So really loved this trilogy. I have planned to film like a should you read, I just haven't got around to it yet. But yes, I would really recommend this trilogy. Lots of fun, lots of like Phoenician inspired settings, so really enjoyed this one. Another one which I feel nice and accomplished about finishing. So I do feel like everything that I finished this month were all like quite long books. I think that's been why I struggled a little bit with finishing my series, is that every series finale that I have has been like a 500, 600, 700 page book, and that just takes a very long time to read, and so then I need a break from the long book to read something else, which is why it's ended up being like 1 a month. A 600 page book is chunky. So anyway, those are the 3 series that I managed to finish, and I feel nice and very accomplished with myself for having done that. But there is more, because I have continued in things. I have done some rereading of some other things. So I continued in Lore Olympus by reading volume 3. This is a Hades and Persephone webcomic, which I think the art style is really pretty. Nice like purples and pinks and blues. Very pretty. So I continued in this. I'm not up to date yet. I think volume 4 is definitely out. Volume 5 potentially has come out now as well. So still not up to date, but continue to work on this one. And then another one where I'm not quite up to date yet either, but made some progress in, is the Stormlight Archive. So I read Dawnshard, which is 3.5 in the series. And only in the Stormlight Archive is a 250 page book, a novella, because anywhere else that could be a full-length book. But I continued in this series with probably the anticipation of reading Rhythm of War, maybe like early next year. But Dawnshard successfully read. And then, still not finished on things that I did, I did some rereading to continue in some series in the anticipation of finishing them. So I reread The Forgetting Moon by Brian Lee Durfee, the first book in the 5 Warrior Angels series. So this series is all finished and I do need to get to the rest of it to be able to finish this all off, and that is my plans. I just haven't got around to it yet. But this reread I did successfully in, I think this was July or August. I read this one. Success over here with this. And I also have been rereading the Skyward series. So I had previously read books 1 and 2, so these two I have now reread in anticipation to continue on. So I have not read the novellas or Cytonic before, so those are going to be fresh for me, but these two were rereads, so I'm now in the position to continue and then finish the series when the 4th book comes out. Great progress made over here as well with these two. So yeah, lots of work on like finishing series, continuing series, rereading to finish series. I did start one series over the past 3 months, but I also continued in it as well. So I started the Prison Healer series by Lynette Noni, and I read the first book and the second book, The Gilded Cage, and I've got the third book to read, hopefully, in this next quarter. Started and continued in this, so making some progress working through series. I've been reading this with my friends Vish and Sam. I think Sam has unfortunately DNF'd this one, but me and Vish do plan to continue and finish off the series. Progress over here with this as well, and that was the only series that I started. So I started it and made some progress in it as well, so nothing that should be sticking around for too long on my ongoing series. So I feel like that is some excellent progress, you know, proud of myself. I told you I was going into this feeling like I'd accomplished things, and there you go, that is my pile of accomplishments. Obviously there could have been more, but I feel like that is a good hefty stack of accomplishments there, and every book is really long. Okay, cool. So now we're going to move into plans. And I do have quite a few series that I would like to wrap up this quarter, that it is the final quarter of the year. I really like to finish off the year with like everything all nice and tidy and wrapped up, so that I can then go and start loads of new series in 2024. But yeah, I do like to have things a bit more wrapped up by the end of the year, and that my series number is nice and low. So that's what I'm going to endeavour to do over the next 3 months. So I do have quite a few series where I only have the final book left to read, so those ones should be relatively easy, and then I have some more where there's multiple books that I need to read to finish them. So I have The Poison Song by Jen Williams, the third and final book in the Ninth Reign trilogy, which I have been slowly reading. I think I started the first one back in December of 2022, and then I read the second one in June-July-ish, and spoiler, I have already finished this one at the very beginning of October. It was my first read for October, so this one is actually done. But yes, this one is a book for the 4th quarter of 2023, one that has been on many a TBR, and I still have not quite got to it yet, is The Bone Shard War by Andrea Stewart. It will happen, it will. I mean, you can see I've slowly been making my way through things. I have, like, I've been getting there, and this will have its time. It's just, maybe this one just looks more daunting than the other ones because of it being a hardback. It's not actually like any longer than the other ones that I've just been reading, because it's it's 611 pages. I'm sure Labyrinth's Heart was longer than that, and I think this is bigger font than the Rook and Rose trilogy anyway. But this one will definitely be read by the end of the year. If it's not read by the end of the year, then I don't know, I need to have like some book buying privileges taken away from me until I read this, because it has to be read by the end of the year. It has to be soon. I don't own it just yet, but I do need to get the third and final book in the Prison Healer series by Lynette Noni, which is The Blood Traitor, so that I can finish this one off. I'm sure that one won't take me too long. Oh, my stomach, did that come across? Because that was very loud for me. Do need to get to the third and final book in this series, and that should be relatively easy as it is a fun YA, quite bingeable, compulsively readable time. And another very fast bingeable series that I should hopefully finish shortly is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. So the third and final book, A Curse for True Love, comes out at the end of October, so I really do intend to buy and read that one. My plan is to buy it and read it in October as soon as it comes out, but either end of October, beginning of November, that one will be covered as well. And then a final one where just one more book is coming out that will complete a series is for the Guild series. So Gold comes out in December, and that's the 5th and final book in that series, and I could read that one and wrap that one up. My only like issue potentially with that one is that I have all of the books in paperback, and that 5th book will be coming out in hardback. So I just need to navigate if I can get it from my library or how I would read it, so that I can wrap up the series without having the issue of like the hardback paperback situation. And it's not as though they're even remotely similar in style. Like the paperbacks are like black covers and the hardbacks are white covers. So either I try and like get it from my library if they have it, or I have to wait until next year when the paperback comes out. But another one that I could hopefully finish off. Those are the 5 series where I just have like one final book to go, and then they're all wrapped up, which will feel great if I can get all of those off. Now for ones where I have more than that, and I still hope to get all of these off as well, and so I'm going to have a big clear out of series if I can get to all of these, which I really do intend to. I really do intend to get to all of these, at least all of the ones that I've mentioned so far. As I have mentioned, I have been working my way through the Skyward series in anticipation for the 4th and final book coming out in November. So currently that means I have Cytonic and the novellas to read over October, November. So I think my plans will be in October, I'm going to read the novellas, or the first 2 novellas. Then maybe towards the end of October, beginning of November, I'll pick up Cytonic and read this one, and then I will go back and read the 3rd novella in November. And then I think the Defiant, the 4th book, comes out towards the end of November, and so I could pick that up at the very beginning of December to wrap this whole series up. So that is my plans and anticipation for this. I think it should be quite easy. I did reread the other 2 on audio, and these ones I will probably physically read, as they won't be rereads, but I think they read relatively quickly. They're quite large font, they're more YA in style, that I've raced through these books. And then one that I'm a little bit nervous about, well, not nervous, like I'm not scared of it, I'm not anxious about it, but like one that I feel as though may not get completed by the end of the year. There's hope, but I don't know if it will happen. And that will be finishing off the 5 Warrior Angels series. So I have The Blackest Heart, which is a reread, and then The Lonesome Crown, which will be the final book in the trilogy and wrapping it up, and that will be a first time read. So it's just because of the length of these that I am a bit intimidated by them. I do intend to read this one on audio, and I did start it this week, but then I just haven't really been in like the dark, grim fantasy mood. I just haven't been this week. So I read like the first chapter and then was like, I don't know if I'm in the mood for this. And then I haven't picked up an audio since. Hopefully that mood will strike, and then I can like make some big progress in this, because I think I've got the audio on like 2 times speed, 2.3, and it's over 15 hours, 16 hours long. So it's a lot of listening time. So I just don't know if I will get to all of these words in this whole series by the end of the year. I would definitely hope to get The Blackest Heart finished. I think Lonesome Crown might be a little bit of a stretch. So those are all of the series where I have the anticipation and hopes to finish them before the end of the year. I do have some series where I don't think I would finish them, but I would like to make some progress in them. And that includes the 4th Wing series by Rebecca Yarros. So the 2nd book in that series, Iron Flame, comes out in November. So I hope and plan to read that 2nd book when it releases, and then I can stay up to date with that series, read it along with everybody else, because I feel like everybody is going to be reading that book in November when it comes out. So I will probably be doing the same. And then otherwise, I do want to read Blood Sanctuary Parts 1 and 2 by Vela Roth, which is the 3rd book in the Bloodgrace series. So I've read the first 2 this year, and I have been planning to read this 3rd book for quite a while now, and it just hasn't happened yet. So I would like to get back to this and read these 2, or like it's 1 but 2. So that's the plan with this. Yeah, those are my plans. I feel like that's relatively realistic, that I should be able to do all that progress. I should. There's quite a few series to wrap up, but I think it's possible, because not all of them are as long and chunky as they have been in the past few months. I mean, there are some long and chunky ones, but I think I'll be okay. And then I do have, I guess, a pile of series that if I were to start something, these would be the first ones on the list, like the first on the potential. So I've got loads of series on my TBR. There's seriously way too many of them, like way too many. I have so many starts of series, so many of them, but these ones are the first ones. If I feel like I want to start a new series, if I feel like there is room for a new series, these will be the ones that are top priority and most likely to be picked. And some of these have been on my like series to start in 2023. Some of them are just like ones that have been calling to me. Actually, three of them are in my series to start in 2023. So I have Dreamer's Pool by Juliette Marillier, which is the first book in the Blackthorn and Grimm series. So I've read the Seven Waters original trilogy. I haven't read the 4th, 5th, 6th books, the second trilogy, but I've read the original one, and I would really like to get into this. My sort of fear of this is how small the font is. Like, there is a lot of words per page. It's also like mass market, which I don't really like, but I am excited to get into the plot of this. Like, it sounds really fun, and I feel like it gives off autumnal vibes, and I think these are set in Ireland, like with the most of Juliette Marillier's books. I then have, again, this more like darker autumnal time of year, I have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, which is on my October TBR. I feel like this gives me like fantasy, romance, gothic vibes, and I feel excited about that. It is a duology as well, so I could read this and the second book, which comes out later on in October, and then have the whole duology wrapped up as a potential. And yeah, I feel like there's good chance for this one. One I've mentioned many a time that I would like to read is Fireborn by Rosaria Munda, which is the first book in the Imperium series, which is like a dragon riding academy series, which I really want to read. I have been filming a dragon vlog. Like, I started it in the summer and then it's been on pause ever since. And I would like to get back to it and read some of the other books that I had planned for that dragon vlog, and this is one of them. So I would really like to get to this one as well. And then I think, again, this one has been on like a few series that I want to start, 5-star predictions, and that is The Final Strife by Sarah El Arifi, which is the first book in, I don't know what this series is called, the first book in this series, which again I think has some trials in it. The society is split by different types of blood, and the third book comes out sometime next year, so I could read this and then the second book's already out and then be ready for that third book, so I wouldn't be hanging around too long waiting for that third book to come out. But yes, I would really like to get to this one. And that is it for the final quarter. Those are my plans and what I would hope to achieve. I think the starting of series would just be a bonus if I got to them. Hopefully I can wrap up everything that I want to wrap up. That is my hopes and dreams. And luckily I have the, like, I guess, positive feelings as of right now that I have just finished the Poison Song this morning, so I've got like that buzz of having already made some progress and finished one in October. There we go, there is my wrap up and TBR. Let me know what your plans are for the final 3 months of 2023. If you are like me and you have this desire when it gets to the end of the year to wrap up all the series, where you're like, I need to get everything tidied away, I need to get everything organised for the start of 2024. If you're like that, or if you just don't mind where your series are at the end of the year. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye!